Hello everybody, here we are. Finally, I know the live ended, the last live that actually ended at 5. And then after 4 hours, I just could manage to just go live right now. Sorry for that. Next time onwards, I'll keep this particular thing in mind that this particular thing doesn't get repeated. Literally sorry, I was supposed to be going live earlier, but couldn't really go live. But apart from this particular thing, the title is different right now. I'm actually gonna be covering something else. The title is something else. So let me just simply change the title and get ahead with the things. So this is how it's gonna be going on, and leaderboard, let me change that. Coming back to this one, let me turn this setting off, and overall things are fine. I hope I'm audible now. Alrighty, so what are we gonna be doing? We have covered many things so far. Mainly we were talking about Prometheus UI, and in further coming 3 hours I'm gonna be focusing on all those things only. And as for the network, I hope it's fine. Hopefully I'm not gonna be facing the network issues, and it's gonna be quite fine. In case if we face that, I will just take my time to fix this. For now it's fine. Okay, so let me open the project collection, projects, and that was inside the learning one, Prometheus. This was the project that I was working on. Let's simply open it. Apart from this particular thing, let me just open Docker as well, and here we were. And again, if I'm not wrong, starting the Docker, do I have my images? Why is it so that I don't have my images here? Node.js app. Isn't I don't know what is the reason behind this, but I don't have the images of my local machine itself. Okay, for some reason I don't have them here. I will be figuring it out. Not a problem for now. What am I gonna be doing here? ls sudo docker process status. The last time I was working on this, and then after that here I am back again. Okay, so let's clear it first of all, and checking the processes that are stopped right now. So docker sudo docker process status for all. So these are the processes that have been stopped. So let me start them again. So sudo docker start, and I'm gonna be starting to connect it again. What is the problem here? Obvious disconnection issue. Usually it should not be problematic thing, but it is right now. Okay, if it gets disconnected again, I will just fix this. Not really big problem, it can be fixed. Coming back to this, let me change this. It's quite night time. Reload it. So this is pretty simple. We are our server is running, but server is containerized. That means we have created the image of the server. So we created the image. Once the image got created, after that we are running it inside the container, and we are exposing the services at port 3000, and because of that thing I'm able to check it here. Apart from this particular thing, we are even running the Prometheus inside a container, and as Prometheus running inside a container, so I'm using my Node.js app over here to just simply pull the data from my server. I'm using this Node.js app because this is the name of my container. So I named my container this name, and any container's name refers to the IP of that particular container. So I have my server container. So, and this is the name that has been given to that particular container. This name refers to the IP address of that particular container, and because both the containers, my server app, Node.js app container, and my Prometheus container, they are connected using the same network. Because they are connected using same network, I can just simply talk to another container using the IP. And because this particular name refers to the IP, this is actually a DNS, domain name system, DNS, yeah, domain name system. So this is the domain name system, ultimately DNS, for that particular IP address. So when I use this particular name, simply means I'm using the IP address. So this is how it goes. We've already talked about this enough, so I'm not going to be talking much about this. So this much is done, and right now 2 containers are running. One of them is Node.js app. This is the container that is running, and it is I'm listening. It is running on 3000 port inside the container, and again I'm listening for the result at 3000 port on my local device. Similarly, I have Prometheus container. This is again running on 9090 port inside the container, and on my local device I'm listening it on 9090 port itself. Coming back to this one, if I go to localhost 9090, well, turns out the URL is wrong. So localhost 9090. So here I am, and if I execute, suppose I wanna know all the HTTP request count. So all the HTTP request total, I think this was the one. So HTTP request total. This was the name of what? This was the name of the class that was used for creating the total request object, if I'm not wrong. So if I come back here, inside my matrix, I have this request duration. Not even here, I think request counter. So I just had a counter class. Inside the counter class, I gave this name over here, HTTP request total. So using this name, I can just get all the number of requests, as simple as that. Coming back to this particular section, let me execute this, and these are the number of requests that I have. I have 14 requests by the matrix. These requests had been sent by Prometheus itself, and I have a request at /route, and 304 I have 2 requests on this, and I have 1 favicon request. I mean the route is favicon, and 404 requests. So these are the ones that I have. Let me send some more, some on the home route, some on the users route. So let me send some more errors, not errors, actually requests, and few on health check route. So as I send these requests from here, not this here, health check, send a few more. So this way I will have many requests right now. So if I go to my Prometheus UI, and if I reload the page, right now I got many requests, and this is in the format of table, I can check them in the format of a graph. So right now these many requests I got. This is the request of what? It is just clearly saying that HTTP request total, and the method is /metrics. So to /metric routes, the requests are coming continuously in every 15 seconds, and these are some other requests that I got. And if you just have a look at them color wise, so I have all types of requests. So green color represents /route, then CPU. Even I can just click on them one by one. So this green color represents these are the requests that I got suddenly. So if I refresh the page, so these are the requests I got. Let me select this much. So this is how I'm gonna be getting. So green color represents which request /. Then I have CPU. I don't have any request on this particular route. Then I have CPU, don't have the request here. Then favicon request I have here, and I have only one request. Similarly, I have health check. It suddenly jumped from here. So initially I was getting one request. Suddenly I started getting 7 requests, because I just made lots of requests to the backend. Suddenly, apart from this particular thing, I have a request to /metrics, and they are slowly increasing, because slowly /metric is sending the request to the backend, mainly in every 15 seconds. And lastly, /users. Again, I hit /user many times, so because of that thing, I have a total of 10 requests suddenly, and then slowly the graph will go down, because right now I'm not sending the requests and all. So this is how you can just simply go ahead with the things. Simply you have table format, you have this format, and not only this thing, you can even check HTTP active requests, just like this. If you execute this, so all the active requests that you have right now, you don't have any active request. There's only one, and that is earlier you had one active request, and right now you don't have any. So let me just send a request to /CPU. The request goes there. Let me reload the page. Right now I have one active request. How can I get that? Let me execute this, and this is the new active request that I got. And this is on what? This active request is on there are no active requests right now. Reload it. How can I check the value of the active request? 0 active requests. Okay, Control C, V, and I think this much should be enough. Enter. enter, 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 enter. Now let's check the active request. It should be more than 0 at least. Execute it. I think it checks in every 15 minutes or something. It's not 15 minutes, 15 seconds. I think duration is the problem. Yeah, duration has been the problem. I set a duration, so in that particular duration I've been looking for the active requests. Right now I have 2 active requests. Let me just start them as well, and in this way I will have at least I hope so many. So right now I have only 1. That's insane. Let me keep refreshing, executing it, and hopefully it will slowly increase. Yeah, now I have 2, and after 2 will it become 3 or not, or will it come back to 1? Okay, it has back to 1. So many requests I have, if all of them are on. It goes up to 2 and after that it comes back, but currently I have many requests running, like going on, and many active requests I have many. What is the issue? Okay, I have 3 right now. So yeah, it calculates, but I think it calculates in every 15 seconds, because in 15 seconds Prometheus UI gets the result from the server side, and because of that thing it slowly increases and it slowly decreases as well. So this is how it just simply goes. You can click on the graph, and this is the request this is the graph of active requests. So there was 1 active request, then there was 2 active requests, and it kept going, then it kept even like decreasing. And let me cancel this, and as for the time, let me make it 5 minutes. And lastly, at the end of the day, I had 4 active requests. If I execute them, and then slowly the request decreased and came back to 0. So this is how it goes. So ultimately, yeah, this is even working. We will even be talking about Grafana. We are just simply focusing on Prometheus UI right now, though we will not work with Prometheus UI quite a lot, but it's good to know that. So we have gone through this much as well. There's one last thing, and that is we've talked about the active request. We've talked about the total number of requests, HTTP, and there is something called millisecond buckets. So request millisecond buckets. Let me see what it returns. So it returns something like this. What it returns? First of all, it gives me all the requests that take less than infinite seconds. So there have been how many requests? So there have been 6 HTTP duration millisecond 6. I think there has been 6 HTTP request millisecond. Okay, what about this one? Yeah, so there has been 6 requests that took less than infinity, and then there has been how many total? The number keeps changing. So what can I do? I can just simply sum it. So sum of everything. So what it's actually returning me? This is the section, and this is the section. Mainly it returns a milliseconds if I'm not wrong. So ultimately, at this point of time, HTTP requested millisecond bucket 1, and then it became slowly 2, then it became 3, then it became 4, and at last it became 5. So at this point of time, on CPU route, I had 5 requests that took less than infinite, and I think all of them are for less than infinite. Let me go with this 304. This is the one. How about well, this is not organized, and better go with which one? 0.1 get health check. All of them are constant because of course the requests are not being sent right now. Click show signal series control के height to okay, control and click. I can select all of them, right? So this is how it's gonna be going on. I'm not sure exactly what it shows at the end of the day. First of all, it is just simply showing that I think it shows the number of requests if I'm not wrong. So in less than 50 milliseconds on method get on route, and I had how many requests? I had 7 requests. So this is how it simply shows. So kind of in the graph format, in it's gonna be easier to understand. So at the end of the day, in less than 0.1 millisecond, 2 requests got resolved. Then in less than 5 milliseconds, 6 requests got resolved, and this way it just keeps going and going. So this is how it just simply goes. Okay, and what is the next thing? And not only that, in less than 20 milliseconds on method get on route slash status goes 304. In that particular what situation, not situation actually, when that particular condition was, at that time 6 requests got resolved in less than what? In less than 20 milliseconds. So in less than 20 milliseconds, 6 requests got resolved when method was get and route was slash and status was 304. Similarly, if I kept going, coming back to this one, on less than 5 milliseconds, and method was get, route was users, status was this 10 request was resolved. Similarly, this is gonna be 10 I have every time till 1000, if 5000 infinity if I'm not wrong. So if I start from here, if something is less than 5, that is less than 10, that is less than 50, that is less than 100, 500, 1000, 300 and 500, and because of that thing I'm getting this 10 10 10 every time. Lastly, what is this? Then infinite, less than infinite as well. So because of this thing, these numbers are repeated, because if something got resolved in less than 5 seconds, sorry 5 milliseconds, that is definitely less than 10 milliseconds or 20, 50, 100, it keeps going on. So ultimately this is what we've done. So this particular table is understandable, and as for this particular graph, so it does the does show the same thing, in the sense, over the time it tells how many requests got resolved. So less than infinity, less than 50 milliseconds. Let me select all the less than 50 ones. So this is how it goes. So it is clearly telling me that what it is telling me, the first one, in less than 50 millisecond on method gets on slash CPU route, ultimately 0 request got resolved. Then on slash favicon 1 request got resolved. On slash that means home route, 2 requests got resolved. Even telling me about the time. Similarly, 4 requests, 5 requests, 6 requests, 7 requests, 10 requests, and lastly even I have 14 requests. So that simply means on in less than infinite time, let's not worry about the infinite time, even this is less than infinite, infinite. Okay, this is the one. In less than 0.1 second, 4 requests got resolved, and method was get, route was slash users, status was 304. Again, this is not that much understandable as well. That simply means the UI can be even better. We can use even better query over here. Having said that, I don't know the query of Prometheus. Like there is a language of Prometheus as well, and that is called PromQL if I'm not wrong. Okay, so talking about me, I don't know the query, but there are two ways. Either you know the query and you are able to write yourself. How does the query look like? Let me show you. HTTP active request, if total, and if I just click on this, so I'm gonna be getting the total request that I got. I can just even sum them. And how will I sum them? I will write yes UM and just paste it here. And if I just execute now, so it is giving me the sum of all requests. Like at this particular time 89, then 90, 91, 92, and slowly the number of requests kept increasing. So this way I can check how the requests have been increasing. Not only that, I can check HTTP active requests, execute. So right now of course I don't have any active request, so let me make it 15 minutes. So in 15 minutes at this particular time I had these many active requests, and what I can do, okay, I don't really need to do anything in this one. And apart from this particular thing, what else can I do? I can get a HTTP request, HTTP total request, and what all can I do with this one? Let me have a look. I got this. I can sum all of them. Apart from this particular thing, I can get their name, what rate. at what time how many requests I got, so I can get the rate like at this particular time I got, because right now they are just simply increasing, right? So let me get their rate. How will I get the rate? To get the rate you have to just simply write rate and just simply do it like this, and now you have to specify the time. The time is 5 minutes, like in 5 minutes window show me all these things. This much I've done, and let me simply click on execute, and this is the rate of getting the request. Like I got how many requests I how does it work? This definitely shows the rate in 5 minutes window. Okay, it is just simply telling that in 5 minutes window you got 0. This many requests, and this keeps increasing as the time goes, and this is how it just simply goes. Ultimately it is merely telling me about the request that I'm getting, and slash matrix it is around 0.06. so these are the number of the requests I got in 5 seconds. Like the duration is 5 minute, and it is telling me the request that I got in every milliseconds, if I'm not wrong, in every second or millisecond. Let me make it simple, like smaller. It's gonna be around 1 minute window. So this is how I will be able to know it better. Even if I keep the window 1 minute, I'm trying to get the rate. HTTP request total, how many requests I get, how can I measure them? Let me click on the table. Am I missing something? Execute. How about the keeping the window 30 minutes? Execute. The number of requests are 0, and I think I need to make lots of requests to just simply see the result. So HTTP total request, let me do that. CPU, right? So instead of sending the request to the CPU, I'm gonna be sending the request to users. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20. Coming back to this, I mean many requests have been sent. Coming back to this one now, execute. I got these many requests per millisecond. These many requests are coming, if I'm not wrong. So these are the sudden jump that I got in the requests, and in every 5 minutes if I execute, this is how I'm getting. This is the graph. I'm yet to understand what kind of data I'm getting here. I'm gonna be taking the help of AI in that case. Rate HTTP 5 millisecond, not 5 millisecond, 5 minute, and if I keep it 5 second, no data. So of course I'll have to make it 1 minute. So this is how I just simply get the data, and if I make it 5 minutes, I'm gonna be taking the help of AI over here, because I'm not able to understand this. Like I'm getting the result, even this increased as I sent the request to slash users, but what does it mean? Copy it all, and let's go to the AI. I'm just simply gonna ask it to explain the chart, what kind of data I'm getting here. I hope I'm not facing the network issue, everything's going great. As for the Grafana, we will cover this as well, but just wanted to be sure about the graphs. That Grafana even is easier. Over there you don't even have to, Grafana suggests you many things, gives you more features, gives you alerts, options and all. In Prometheus UI, of course you don't get these many features, but yeah, it is even something to be explored. What is the problem here? Am I audible? I hope I'm not facing the network issue. I'm not able to open ChatGPT for some reason. Let's go with the Gemini for now. Explain exactly exactly literally what I am getting on the graph. Alrighty, apart from this particular thing, I think ChatGPT is just gonna keep loading and will never be loaded enough. So let me just simply close this. Apart from this particular thing, all the requests that I was getting there, I don't need them anymore. And for what reason is this taking so much time? Don't know, even Gemini is taking time. Overall things look fine. I have good network connectivity. Still things are taking time. Never mind. Reload it. Just a sec. Fast.com. Oh, this is so. Just a sec. Just a minute, let me fix this. I'll be back. Alrighty, right now I think it's gonna be better. Reload it again. Well, this is insane. Why is this happening? In that case, what option do I have? Back, probably this problem is from the network provider side, because usually it's not this much. So definitely something is up, and because of that thing I cannot even use some of the things well. That's insane actually. Even if I'm using 5G, the network speed is like this. Never mind. At least it's able to handle my live stream. What else? Coming back to this one. Tell me what exactly I get here. Hopefully it will be able to answer it well. Analyzing it. Okay, that's great. It looks like you are monitoring Node.js application using Prometheus. The graph is showing per second rate of HTTP per second over 30-minute window, broken down by specific dimensions like the URL and all. So ultimately in 1 second how many requests you get, that is the rate. Okay, it could be like in 1 second you are gonna be getting a lot of requests. The prompt keyword expression calculates the average per second increase of the HTTP total request counter over 5 minutes. The y-axis represents the request of the request represents request per second RPS, and x shows the time from roughly this to this. So ultimately, what was the time and how many requests were there. Coming back to this one, so this particular section x-axis shows the time, like this was the time from 21 to 20 this, and this simply shows the number of requests, and in 1 second, how about in 1 minute? This is just the window, and these are the number of requests I got. Interesting. I can even make it like this, but it looks crazy. So let me go with this one. In 5 minutes, and similarly I can so it does make sense. In every second, in 1 second, the number of requests is 0.66, and if you actually I have 0.06, and if you multiply this 0.06 by what, 0.06 request I got in 1 second. Okay, and in every 15 seconds in every 15 seconds a request come here from the Prometheus size. From Prometheus side I mean, and if I multiply 0.06 multiplied by, just a sec, calculator, 0.06, if I'm not wrong, that's the one, right? 0.06 multiplied by 15. 0.09. Ultimately one around, so one request comes in 15 seconds. So if I'm getting a request, I'm getting 0.06 request in a second. Got it? So in 15 seconds, how many requests I get? I get 0.09, ultimately all around one request. So one request in comes in 15 seconds. So that's the calculation that I have. Great. And how about this one? The top I got, that was 0.07. So 0.07 request I got in what? There's no time. This request is coming in every 15 seconds. But as for this one, yeah, that's okay. I can multiply it by 15. So I can check how many requests I got in 15 seconds. 10. Right? Okay, that was 0.07. So 0.07, and this is the window. These many requests I got. But I can check it like this, that in the first 15 seconds, how many I got. Multiplied by 15. 1.05. Then this, then this, then this. It kept increasing. So ultimately, multiplied by 4. Ooh, this does make sense. Like in every 15 seconds you are getting the request, and this window is what? This window is 30-minute window. So let me make it 15-minute window, and this is another one that I have here. Well, this is how the things are on Prometheus UI. Overall, not bad. It does the job, but at the end of the day, things do get a bit hard to just simply understand here. And apart from this particular thing, these are the number of requests that I get. Just again thinking about it, 0.06 requests I got in 1 second. So if I want to check how many requests I got in 15 seconds, so I can multiply it by 15. In 1 minute, I can multiply it by 60. So at this particular time, I got these many. Does it increase, or it actually remains the same? So in here it was decreased. So it was around how much? It was 0 requests, and then slowly it increased to 0.06, and then it was at 0.06. Come on here, close this. Yeah, so it was initially 0.06, and then it became 0.07 requests per second. Okay, and it returns the average. It's not like it returns the overall stuff. It actually returns the average. So it calculates all the requests that I get, and then it will I think it calculates the average of them, rate in 5 seconds. And what else can I add here? If I have 0.07 in 1 second, so in 60 minutes, how much did I get? Close this. Zero 0.07 multiplied by, oh come on, 60, 0.42. So in 1 minute overall I'm getting 4.2 requests. And it was not just about that. I kept getting the request. Again, ask a question. 0.07 plus requests mean. In the context of your Prometheus graph, 0.07 represents the average number of requests per second. So average number of requests, the total requests that you got and the average of them. And that is why you are not getting the exact number, right? Reaching your server over the 5 minutes window. So in 5 minutes window, what is the, okay, got it. It's not like how many requests you sent now, it's about how many requests got received in 5 minutes window, and then what is the average. It could be you received 1000 requests in 1 minute, and then in further coming 4 minutes you didn't receive any request at all. So ultimately one request every 14 seconds, so 0.0 multiplied by 60 seconds, 4.2 requests per minute. That simply means one request in every 14 seconds when I'm on the duration, like window of 5 minutes. Coming back to this, if I make the window just 1 minute right now and execute the query, so this is how it looks like. Okay, now how many requests I got? I got these many requests. Let me make it bigger, a bit bigger. So this is how it looks like. Then 0.04, so 0.04 and multiplied by 60. So in 1 minute I got 2.4 requests in 1 minute. Can I make the even window smaller, maybe 15 seconds or something. 15 seconds, execute it. It cannot be. How about 30? I am getting in 30 seconds. So 2.6 in the sense 0.26 multiplied by 30, right? 30 seconds window, so multiplied by 30. So in in 30 seconds window I got 7 requests or something in 30 seconds. Similarly I can have even lesser, but this is not allowed. But this is how it just simply goes. But this is not what I use. This is what I usually want. I am getting the number of requests, the average number of the requests that I am actually getting. This is fine. I can then calculate and then it can be done. So in 1 second I am checking, and then you can just simply multiply it by 30 to check them in 30 seconds, check them in 1 hour. This is how it just simply keeps going on. Alrighty, so overall we have explained, like we have gone through everything here, and there's nothing left if I'm not wrong here, especially on the explore matrix. These are the metrics that I have. HTTP requests, HTTP request duration, millisecond bucket. It represents the bucket. It represents the count. It represents the sum. And what is this gonna be returning? Explore matrix. And these are the unknown ones. Alrighty, so ultimately mainly these are the 4 to 5 things that I have, and they are just simply doing their jobs. I have even help. I have one of them is gauge, one of them is counter, and the remaining ones are histogram. From the histogram side I'm getting these 3 things, and other ones are coming from the gauge and the counter side, and some of them are still unknown. Okay, what is the next thing? Format expression. Expression formatted. Duplicate query. I can even duplicate the query. So let's see what happens. It's been duplicated. HTTP duration millisecond. HTTP. One more thing, I can check one thing, that if I check the value of HTTP requests sum, how much time it takes to response a request. I mean, how much total time it takes for some route. So if I execute this, so usually it takes this much time. Like for this it takes around 14 milliseconds. Is this millisecond? 1,40,000 milliseconds. 1,40,000 milliseconds. 14 minutes or something. And then this is the time that it is taking, right? So HTTP request. Okay, so 1,40,000 it took total. It this much time total it took to response all the errors, all the kind of requests, and what was the number of requests that I get, count. So usually I get 14 requests. I got 14 requests and 1,40,000 it took. That simply means overall one request got resolved in 10 seconds, and that is on /CPU. CPU's set timeout is 10 seconds. That is why it is just like that. So if I say how can I define the route? For defining the route, I can say route is gonna be equals to /CPU. This is not the right way. So let me select a proper route. I think this is the right way. Yeah, this is the right way. So if I just select what, CPU. So on the CPU, I got a total 14 requests on /CPU when status code was 304, and I got 5 requests when status code was 200. What I want to see that okay, I got these many requests I got on /CPU route, and I want to calculate the total time it took. So sum, what is the total time that it took? So the total time that is took, that is this much, and if I want to calculate the average time that one request took to be resolved, so HTTP request count, it is gonna be for route, and what is the route? Route is /CPU, and this is the query language. How do I know? I just worked with Grafana. Over there Grafana was suggesting the stuff like this is how the query is written, so I just remembered a bit. That is it. So overall this is the time I'm getting it. At max it took 10 seconds to resolve a request, and slowly it came to, no, it always kept taking 10 seconds. So whether I got many requests at the same time or I got less requests, all the time it took only 10 seconds to resolve the errors. Sorry, not resolve the errors, resolve the request, whatever I get. So this is how it is working, and it is simple because if you actually have a look at this, so whenever we are resolving any request on /CPU route, so over here we do have a timer set timeout of 10 milliseconds, and if it is overall, if it is getting resolved in 10 seconds on an average, so that is fine. This does the job, right? So far we've been going through this. We have even explored the query section. Again, I'm not good at writing the queries, but I know few things in the sense there is something called sum, there is something called rate, there is something called you can just define the route like this. So this is also done. You can even define the methods like this. Oh, so it's not like I know some. I do know some. I mean, there some in the sense you can define anything here. So like if I just write the total requests, so you will be getting all the requests, and you can define a particular type over here. Particular type in the sense suppose method, I want one where the method should be get just like this, and let me just execute. I'm gonna be getting all of them. Not only that, I'm gonna be defining it with a route as well, where route should be /CPU, and if I get them, so I'm gonna be getting well, this is wrong for some reason, so didn't have the idea. Route should be /CPU. Hopefully this is gonna be right. So this way you can just simply get the request of the CPU, where the route should be users. So this way you are gonna be the request of users only. So this is how the things work on. Again, in this case, what you have to do, you need to know the query, how the prom keyword is, how the prom keyword works, and this is all about what target health. Here you can just simply know about the target health. So Node.js, this simply says that target health is up. That simply means Prometheus sends the request at /metric route, and it is getting the response back from there, and that is why it is just simply saying that it is up. It is sending in every 15 seconds, and it has been last target script has been 28 minutes ago, and 20.86 seconds ago, and after 10 seconds there's gonna be one more. I mean, duration of last target escape 1 minute. So ultimately this is the info that you get about the last scrape in the sense when it pulled the information. There are a few things that are even that are kind of completely new, completely in the sense this prom keyword query, that is not that much hard, but yeah, a completely new stuff, but when you work with Grafana, slowly you learn this as well on the go, because Grafana provides you the GUI, graphical user interface. So over there you just see when you select the option, so what is the exact query for that, and then we can select the up endpoint, we can select the down endpoint if when it comes to down there are no, and from here we can select the all pools, we can select the Prometheus one, so there is only one Prometheus one that is going on. So this way we can just simply go ahead with the things. We can even check the alerts. Right now we don't have any alerts, but if I just simply show you the graph right now and execute the query, so this is gonna be on HTTP requests, and these are the requests that I got, and okay, this is how the things go on. And even you can add more queries, so it's not like you can add only one. Over here I added one, you can add one more here. So adding one more here in the sense HTTP requests, and suppose this time I wanna get the sum of all, so sum of all, let's execute this one as well. So this time I have this one query, and just below, let me click on the graph, I have another one. Here I'm getting the sum of all, here I'm getting the active request only. So this is how it goes on, and just like this you can have just any number of queries, and you can see the graph here. Okay, so this was all about what? This was all about rule health. What is this? Nothing. Let me check the last things. Service discovery. So discovered labels, these are the labels that I had, matrix, path, scheme, and all these things. Apart from this particular thing, TSDB status, it tells about what? TSDB had a number of series 98, number of chunks this, okay fine, less than 10, HTTP request duration millisecond 70, total this, count this and all up. So yeah, you get kind of some data here as well. You can just simply go through that. These are what? I have no idea. And alert manager discovery. So this is alert manager discovery. You can even set the alerts and all. And this is how the overall things work on. Alrighty, what is the next thing that we should go with? On Prometheus UI, you get the graphs. You even write the Prometheus queries. You can get the the widgets. You can just simply generate the graphs as per the prompt QL and all. But this is limited. You get some limited sets of features over here. Let's talk about Grafana, because in not even that. Should I talk about the Grafana? Before even talking about the Grafana, let's do one thing. I'm gonna be running both this time. So far, what have I been doing? I have been doing one thing, that I ran my Prometheus separately. I ran my Node.js app separately. So for that thing, what I did, I created the image for Node.js app. I already had the image for Prometheus. I just simply ran them separately, and they ran well. What is the next thing now? Now what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna be creating a Docker Compose up file, and so using Docker Compose up, I'm gonna be starting both of them. So I'm gonna be writing some configuration, and with that configuration I'm gonna be able to like start both of them at the same time, and this is how it's gonna be going on. Not only that, even the network will automatically be created. They need to be in the same network, that is for sure. I mean, so without any further delay, let's do it. And what am I gonna be doing first? First of all, what should be the name of the file? Just a minute, let me have a look at that. How do we create a Docker Compose up file? I think that is called docker.ml. I mean, I don't know, I forgotten. So we have written Docker file. So this was already written, and what it says, again I'm using one. So all of this file was, I spent a lot of time to just simply even understand the stuff exactly what is happening over here. But the good thing is that at the end we understood everything. It happened in the evening. And apart from this particular thing, now create a Docker Compose file. Of course, that starts the Node.js app as well as the prom container. So we have to create a Docker Compose file. But what should be the name of the Docker Compose file? I had this in my notes, but okay, let me make a search here. Docker Compose file, Docker Compose file reference. Usually what is the name? Just want to check this thing out. Docker Compose. This is Docker Compose. Control F dot ml. So I think the name is like this, Docker Compose ML only. So example using Control F, Docker Compose ML, Docker Compose ML. So most probably it is named that only. Okay, so let's do it. I wasn't sure about the name, so most probably that is the name only. So coming back to this particular section, I'm gonna be creating a file called docker compose.ml, and inside this I will write the configuration. What will that configuration be? Interesting stuff. So let's talk about the configuration first of all. Docker compose file configuration Docker compose quick start. I hope so this is how it's written, and I think right now what happens that compose.ml, is this the name? I'll have to go to my notes because I'm not sure about the name right now. So unless I have a look at them, nothing's gonna be clear. So let me do one thing. Docker compose and deployments and GitHub SHA. Docker compose docker file. This is the name of the file thanks to the notes that I had. So docker compose ml, of course the name is gonna be this, and this is how the file is actually created. And one more thing, we don't use versions anymore. Earlier versions used to be used, but right now they are not used. So if you write something called version, and that could be anything, 3.8 or something, that's not gonna be valid. Just like this, cancel. Declared for backward compatibility, ignored, please remove it. Declared for backward compatibility, ignored, please remove it and all. Okay, I think versions are not used anymore. So we will have some services inside this, and what those services be. First of all, inside those services we will mention our Node.js app name. So if this is gonna be Node.js app, so this is the name that's gonna be of the process. And apart from this particular thing, what else we need to have? We are gonna be specifying everything. First of all, this Node.js app we have. Again, why am I naming it Node.js app? Node.js app. The main reason is that inside my Prometheus file, I have already named it Node.js app. So the name should be exactly the same. So that's why I'm naming it Node.js app. Apart from this particular thing, what do I want to do? I want to build. What do I want to build? I want to build everything in the current directory, just like this. So how do I build? I mean, I wanna build the image. How do I wanna build the image? I will build the image using this Docker file that is in the current directory, of course, and the file will be built just like this. So it will just simply use the Docker file automatically, and it will build the image. Once the image is built, what else? What do I want to do next? Once the image is built, then I want to run it. And what should be the port number for that? The port number should be 3000 by 3000. I mean 3000 column 3000. So on 3000 port on my container, I have to run it, and that will be exposed to 3000 port on my local device as well. I will be rewriting it on it, so rewriting to, so that's not really a big problem. So what is the usual what is the command usually when we run it? So when we run it, so we say docker run port number is gonna be 3000 and 3000. We even specify the name is gonna be Node.js app, and we even specify the name detached mode. We specify the network, so network, and that network is gonna be app network. That's the same that I have had. and then we specify the image name at the end. So node.js app, suppose this is the image name. So this is how it just simply goes on, right? So that's what I'm gonna be doing here. But before even doing this, what I do, I build the image. How do I build the image? Docker build and the tag name is gonna be node.js app. This is the name of the image. I can even say app, sorry, I can even say pull. What does this pull do? It pulls the latest version of any image that you are using, because for creating the image you need to have the image, as simple as that. Pull, and at the end of the day you will simply say that get everything from the current directory. So this is how the things go on. So first of all you build it, then you run this particular command. Hope I haven't missed anything. So what you are doing, you are just simply saying that the application, the service, I have many services, and the first service is node.js app. Inside that I wanna build first of all. Once the build is done, then I wanna run it on 3000 port. Once I'm running it on 3000 port, what is the next thing? The next thing is that is specifying the proper network, exactly what kind of network you are gonna be using. So networks, just like this. And what will that network be? Network will be node app or Prometheus network. Let's have testing network, or monitor network. And this network will automatically be created, so don't worry about this thing. So whatever we were doing, like by writing proper commands, we are just specifying all the steps over here, and everything will be done whenever we just say docker compose up. So this is the first thing. What is the next service that I want to run? The next service is the Prometheus. So Prometheus service that we want to run. What did we do? Manually, what did we do? We said docker run. I wanna run it on port 9090 port. This is what I wrote, right? 9090 port. And then there will be a volume will be /prometheus.yaml, and will be mounted to /etc/prometheus /prometheus.yaml. And what is it should be connected to the same network. So network control Z, network is gonna be what? Network is gonna be suppose this monitor or app network, whatever network we had earlier. So app network, this was the network that we had, and this much we did. After that we just simply said that we have to run Prometheus image. So this was the image that I hope this image name is right. So this is how we went, right? And what we are gonna be doing right now, that was I think Prometheus. What do we have to do? We have to convert, we have to write this whole command in the form of steps. So what is the name of the service that we are running? That is Prometheus. What is the next that we have to do over here? We have to run an image. So this is the image. This time do we have to build? No, that is already built. Here we had to build the image, then we had to run it on port 3000, and then we had to specify the network. Over here we don't need to build this. This is already built. So what will I be doing? The image, will the image be? Prometheus, just like this. And I can even use latest or not, it's completely up to me. So this is what I'm gonna be doing. Volume we are specifying. Then what we are doing, even we can specify the port number as well. It's completely up to me. So when it comes to ports, what are gonna be the ports over here? Ports is gonna be 90 and 90. So port is done. After ports, volume. So volumes, what are the volumes going to be? Volume is going to be this particular this Prometheus ML file. So what will I do? In the current directory I have Prometheus. The same thing I'm gonna be I'm simply copying and pasting. I will be configuring like mounting it to what? I will be mounting it to /etc/prometheus/prometheus.yaml. As simple as that. What is the next thing? The next thing is that I have to connect it to a network. So network is gonna be what? Network. So networks are gonna be monitor network. So what I did, I just simply put all whatever I was writing in a single command in the form of steps. As simple as that. I mean, this should definitely make sense, right? So this should be ML file. So this is how I'm gonna be going ahead, and it's literally simple. And even writing the command like docker run blah 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 is difficult. That's not difficult actually if you just practice well. But ultimately services, this is the service. I have two services, node.js app, Prometheus app. First of all, I have to build the image, then I have to run it on 3000 port. The network is gonna be this. Similarly, I have this particular image, I'm gonna be running on this particular port, volume is gonna be this, and networks are gonna be this. Again, one thing is missing. What is that thing missing? The thing is that both of them are using the same network. That is a good thing, but there is a problem, and the problem is that how will I make sure that network is already created? And for that thing, you will have to specify one thing over here, and that is network. So networks is gonna be what? Networks is gonna be equals to what? Monitor app, monitor network, just like this. So you have to specify what is the problem. Incorrect expected. What is the issue? Am I missing something? Networks. What is the issue? What is the issue? Let me go here. Quick start. Depends on, okay, environment, build, port, environment, Redis, this, image, health check, control network. So okay, I have only one. Control K, networks. Okay, let's click on this bridge network. Control F, networks. I don't have any single example here. Crazy stuff. Host network. Okay, so this thing is done. Let me search Docker networks. Docker compose networks. Coming back to this one, networking Docker. How to use your network for Docker compose? No. Networks, host, name host in this. So networks, this does work fine. So networks. This should work usually. Do I have the network here? It turns out I don't. But usually it should work fine. Yeah, I'm not missing anything, am I? Incorrect type, expected object Docker ML. Networks that are shared among multiple services. Incorrect type, expected object Docker compose ML schema Docker ML. So what is the issue? Monitor network. So if I just simply remove this, still the same problem. What am I missing here? Networks that are Control W. What does it mean? gonna be taking the help of AI here. What does this error mean here? It looks like your Docker Compose email has a syntax error because the network's definition at the bottom is incomplete. In the Docker Compose, the top level network section expects a specific structure even if that's empty, but now you just have a key without a configuration under it. So networks. How do you need to add a colon after monitor and define the network driver, usually bridge for local setups, change the line setting in it. Ensure that inside your Prometheus configuration you are targeting on yourself in this. So that means if I use network here, I need to have one more, and inside this I have to specify, oh, just this much, and below this I can have what? Driver which? Driver bridge. Let me give to this. It's gonna be taking a lot of time. How about ChatGPT? Is that up? Thank you. Let me paste it here. Your Docker Compose has one small mistake in the Prometheus volume mapping right now. Volumes etc Prometheus Prometheus ML. This tries to mount a directory slash Prometheus. Okay, Prometheus.ml. Sorry for that. This should not be Prometheus. This should actually be Prometheus.ml. Just forgot. And so the structure should be Docker Compose in Prometheus ML and Docker file. So Docker Compose ML should be there, Prometheus ML should be there, Docker file should be there. Okay, and by the way, this is how it just simply goes on. It has this driver bridge. If you want a folder instead of the mount, then mount the whole folder. So it is actually asking me to mount the whole folder inside the volume. So inside that I will have Prometheus, and inside the Prometheus I will have Prometheus.ml, Docker Composer, Prometheus, and Prometheus.ml. So if I go ahead like this, so I will have Docker Compose file, I have Prometheus.ml, I have Docker file inside that, and one more important thing, for Node.js metric, Prometheus.ml should be probably containing a Node.js app. Yeah, it does contain that Node.js app. This works better. Okay. Why do I have to add a driver here? You are referring to this part. So short answer, you do not have to add driver. Docker Compose will use a bridge by default if you don't specify anything. So I can go with this much only. What is network driver? A driver tells Docker how constants communicate with each other. Docker supports different networking modes such as bridge, host, overlay, none. Bridge default network for containers on one host. Host container uses the host network directly. So it contains a default network, it contains host network directly used for multi-hosting network, overlay, and the no networking. What a bridge does? A bridge creates a private virtual network inside Docker. Example with your setup, Node.js app, Prometheus, monitor network bridge, it will have that. Because they are on the same network, they can just simply talk to works from the Prometheus container, they can talk to each other, and this is how we have to go ahead. So this much is done. Apart from this particular thing, if you want, you can if you want a folder, which one is better, mounting the file or the folder? Let's see. Both approaches work, but they are used in different situations. You asked about this volumes, and this let's compare them. Mounting a single file like this project structure. I will have project docker compose YAML and project simple clear file is being used, good for small setups, easy to manage. Cons: if you add more configs later, you must mount them separately. Yeah, that's right. Mounting the whole folder. So if I mount the whole folder, project structure docker Prometheus, inside that I will have these. So inside Prometheus I can actually have many. Okay, so it's like if I have only one Prometheus.ml, so okay, it's good to have only one, but if I have many, then that's gonna be problematic, and it's better to just simply kind of attach all of them, mount all of them. Slightly less explicit if the folder is empty, Prometheus may fail. Okay, fine. So something like this I'm gonna be going ahead, and whatever I have it, I'm gonna be passing it to that, because Prometheus often needs this. What I recommend for you, since you are learning Prometheus Node.js, and I recommend going with this. It will scale better when you add alert rules, recording rules, additional rules, rule also small config this. Okay, fine, got it. So let's go with that. Prometheus etc. Okay, everything needs to be inside a Prometheus file, right? So let me do one thing. I will get a Prometheus folder here. Prometheus folder is created. Inside this Prometheus folder I will have this Prometheus.ml, and later if I have more, they are gonna be just added. And what will I do? At the end of the day, I will have it like this, and everything will be connected to this. So whatever I have inside this Prometheus file, that will be attached. So whatever I have this inside this Prometheus folder, that a new folder will be created here, and that will be inside that particular folder, and that is fine. The same thing I'm doing over here, and understandable. What is the next thing? Next thing is nothing. Just simply run it, and this should be working. Okay. Apart from this particular thing, what else can I do? Ls docker sudo docker process status. Of course, enter the password. These two are running. Let's simply stop both of them. So sudo docker kill. I'm gonna be killing both the processes. So control CV, and then the next one is this control CV. Just like this, they've been killed. Docker process status. They've been sudo docker psa, and let's simply remove them. So sudo docker remove what I want to remove. I want to remove this one, Prometheus, and then I want to remove this one, Node.js, and that's it, done. Sudo docker process status. This is done. What is the next thing? The next thing is that I can even remove the driver that is used by default, so no need to worry about that. I can just simply say sudo docker compose up. It will build the image. Once the image is actually built, it will start running. So right now it is just simply started running that. Such a good thing this is. It built the Prometheus app as well. It built the, I can even run it in the detached mode. That's great. And right now if I check docker process status, so sudo docker process status, so both of them are running. The names have been added, like this one and this one, by the container itself, but at the end of the day the main name is this Node.js app that I have specified. That simply means I should be getting the result over here. So if I send a lot of request to / users, probably over here, if I just send lots of requests, and coming back to this one, if I go to localhost 9090, and if I query, what's wrong with this, http request total, if I execute, these are the requests that I got. So ultimately, yeah, I am getting the result over here. Such a good thing. Okay, is there anything else that I want? And this is the number of, these are the number of requests that I got. Like I got 6 requests on /user. What else could be better than this? I can even add more query over here. So it is working. That's great. And if I want to stop them, so I can just simply say docker compose sudo docker compose down. so they are gonna be removed. So whatever processes we had, they are gonna be stopped ultimately. Let's wait for a while and see whether they get stopped or not. Okay, so they are stopped. If I talk about the network, so docker compose and not docker sudo docker network list ls. So I don't have the network that I created earlier. What was that network? That network was monitor network. This is the one. As I stopped docker, that network got removed. So docker compose sudo docker compose up. So it has started again. Let me run it in the detached mode, by the way. Okay, that's fine. And right now docker sudo docker process status, not process status, network ls, and right now I'm getting this network, Prometheus monitor network. This is the network that got created. Got it? And this network is being used by others. By the way, as for giving it the name, like it added the network at the end to, apart from this particular thing, when it comes to sudo docker process status, so it is giving them different names, Prometheus, Node.js app and all. And if I start it again, it is already running them, so attaching Node.js app and all, so no need to worry about that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't give the exact name, but that doesn't, this is the name given by this, so don't worry about that. Whatever name you just mentioned over here, the same name you can use here inside prometheus.ml, and that is work fine. Okay, so you don't really need to worry about this. Apart from this particular thing, if you actually go to this, if you make lots of requests right now, making lots of requests in the sense, if I go to health check or maybe home route, so 1 2 3 4, I mean, if you just simply keep making requests here, go here, reload the page, and now you are getting that on the slash route you got 5 requests. And if you just simply have a look at the graph, so the graph is somewhat gonna be looking like this, and you are just simply saying that on the slash route, let me make it lesser, this looks fine. So on the slash route, you got 5 requests just at once. So this is how it just keeps going on. So what we are able to do, we are actually even we stopped it, so docker sudo docker process status, nothing is running right now, sudo docker psa, and even from here I have this Mongo, and these two things are still here. Let me remove them, and I can remove them or I can just simply keep them here. It's completely up to me. But what is the good thing? The good thing is that we ran these things. So we ran let me go to the history. We first of all containerized our server, then we containerized Prometheus, and then we ran both of them. We connected them to the same network, and we did all these things using the using the same network. Apart from this particular thing, we used Prometheus UI, and then Grafana is still remaining. That is something we still have to just simply go through. Okay, but I hope overall things are clear. And apart from this particular thing, if I actually go to history, I should be getting all my commands that I used. Okay, so ultimately these were the commands that I ran. And what was the first command that I ran for? Why am I going through that? I mean, I can just write the command on my own, right? Can't I? It was me who wrote the command earlier, previously, so I'm gonna be writing that again. What else? So ultimately talking about the commands, so where should I have them? Let's have them somewhere here. What was the first command that I ran? The first command I ran to simply build the image, and before even that I wrote the Docker file for building the image and all. And after that, what was the command? The command was pretty simple. First of all, we build that, so of course we added sudo over here, sudo docker build, and once we did this sudo docker build, then we had to build, so we added the tag name, and that tag name was Node.js app. And once that got done, and we built everything in the current directory. After that, how did we run that? So sudo docker run, we added the port number 3000 and the 3000, we added the volume. Volume was not added, name was required, so name was Node.js app, just like this. Network was required, so we even added the network. So network was like this, and network was app network that time, or call it anything, it doesn't really matter, network. And what else after that? You ran it in the detached mode, and you added the name of the application, name of the image, latest. You can add the latest at the end or not, completely your choice. So this is what we did for the first time. And similarly, when we ran the Prometheus, so sudo run, and we added the port number 9090, and we added the name. Again, name is optional over here, but let me add Prometheus here. And we added the network. Network is gonna be app network. And the different thing is that we added the volume. We can add the whole the whole directory as well. So dot or I can say dot Prometheus. If I create a folder, so dot Prometheus, I mean, we can mount anything, it's completely up to us. So we can just simply go ahead like this, that it is going to be mounted to Prometheus, just like this. And after that, I'm gonna be running it on the detached mode, and I'm gonna be running the image called prom/Prometheus. So this was the overall command. So these things we did manually, and once these things were done, after that, what we did, we tried to write the command on our own. What was that command? That command was not Prometheus ML. This is pretty simple. You have to just have global, external, and some config related stuff. We will be even writing all these things on our own. But at the end, we wrote docker compose ML. How did we write that? Let me even write it again. It's pretty simple. First of all, you will have services. Okay, inside services, you will have to define what kind of what is the name of your app. Okay, once you have defined that, then you wanna build that. So how will you be building that? You will be building everything using whatever there is in the current directory. From the current directory, you will find the docker file, and using the docker file, the image will be built. Once the image is built, then you will be running the image on what? Running the image on, you will create the container. So you will run the image, and the process will be running on the 3000 port inside the container. After that, what will happen? After that, this thing is done, then you will be adding the networks as well. So networks is gonna be added like this. And what is the name of the network? Monitor network. Monitor, yeah, network, something like this. So this is done. So this is one of the first service. And what is the second next service? Next service is Prometheus, just like this. And once this is done, then what will you be doing? You need the image for that. So what is the image? Prometheus. This is the name of the image that you will have to import if you don't have. Apart from this particular thing, what is the port number? The port number is 90. And apart from this particular thing, you need to specify the volumes. So volumes are gonna be specified like this. And what I want, everything in the Prometheus folder should be mounted to /etc/Prometheus. So I'm just simply mounting the stuff here. And lastly, you have port number, you have volume number, you will be specifying the networks. So networks are gonna be specified like this. What is the network? Monitor network, just like this. And not only that, you will have to make sure that network does exist. And what is the network? The network is monitor networks network. And this much is even fine. Even you can just specify the driver over here, and driver is gonna be nothing but a bridge, just like this. So you can go ahead like this as well. Bridge is used by default too, so you can either include it or you can just remove it. And if you just go back to the code that we wrote earlier that I actually removed, that is exactly the same. So whatever I wrote over here, that's the same thing that was it. Okay, I added service here again. So yeah, have a look at the code. That's exactly the same that I wrote right now. So this is how we can just simply go ahead with the things. Apart from this particular thing, there is this particular file we know how to write a docker compose file. We know how to run using docker directly. And apart from this particular thing, this is how Prometheus.ml is written. You need to have global, you need to have scrape interval, you need to have scrape config, job name, static config, and all these things. If you, in case you forget, don't do anything, simply go to Prometheus website, click on this, and when you click on this, click on get started, you will get the getting started option. And if you have a look over here, global, scrape interval, external level, if you want to have scrape config, name, Escape interval you can just define over here, and that at the end static config you can just define the target that you wanna targeting. Okay, so this is how the things actually go on. And if you actually want to know how Prometheus runs inside the container, so if you click on installation, you are getting proper command exactly how it works and all. And pretty simple thing, you can go to configuration and you can know more about it. And not only that, you can click on querying, you can get the basic flow, basic idea exactly how the query works. And once you got the, by the way, how does it work? Just a minute. Range vector, yeah, I mean this is how the query works. You can just simply select the job, 5 minutes you can even select that. And there are many things, even I'm not aware of them, to be frank. And I'll keep learning it. And the thing is that once I show you Grafana, you will automatically realize that whether you know it now or not, in future you will definitely know it as you keep working with Grafana. Okay, so by the way, this is the query section. You can just simply add the stuff, plus and all functions. We have absent, abs, similarly we have some. So if I actually show you some over here, we have rate that we used. There are many things actually. If you start learning about them, you'll keep learning and it will never end. So let's not worry about this. Even there are some examples, such good examples there are. If I actually just simply go through it, first of all, HTTP request total, this is how the name should be. HTTP request total, we can select the job, we can just simply give the handler and job and all. Ultimately there are many things. And what else? I mean, there are tons of things. If we keep going through them, we'll keep going through them. It's time to switch back to Grafana. So just a minute, give me a second. Alrighty, so what is the next thing? The next thing is the Grafana, and using Grafana is gonna be simple. I mean, the same way. The same way means what? The same way means I will be running Grafana. Grafana, first of all, we will be running manually. Then we will edit here. Edit not here, inside Docker Compose file. So we'll have one more service here, and that's gonna be called Grafana. And just like this, we will just simply add what? We'll get the image, we'll get the ports, we'll get the volumes. I mean, this is how things are gonna be going on. I hope it is clear. But first of all, we want to run it manually. So that's great. We want to run it manually. So what is the next thing that we have to do? This thing we have already done, and let's click on next. And queries from QL, even we have gone through all the queries. We know how to use some and all. And apart from this particular thing, even I will be going through the theory part. Even I've talked about that enough, so let's not worry about that much. Let's click on next. Graphs in from, we've even talked about this. I'm leaving some theory section behind. I will be going through that really soon. So it mainly because I'm willing to talk about Grafana. So first of all, we have to get the image of Grafana, and that is, I mean, most of the things are simple. So let me do one thing. Let me go to the website of Grafana and see what all we can get from there. Simple. Coming back to this Grafana. So this is the website of Grafana, and visualize, test, observability, incident. I mean, there are many things you can just simply go through them. And the thing that I'm interested in, that is the docs. So let's click on docs. And what I want to do, Grafana metrics, logs, traceage, cloud OSS this, cloud OSS this, blah blah blah. And turns out I'm not really sure. This is the first time when I'm on this particular website. So if you actually ask me where is what, I'm gonna be dumb here. Like, I'm gonna be completely blank. So let's explore together and see whether we can get something or not. So query, visualize and understand your data. Store your query raw unsampled metrics for all your applications. I think Grafana cloud should be enough. Let me check that. Once I'm here, I'm going to click on get started. Once I clicked on get started, create an account, connect or send the data. It turns out that this is not what we've been looking for. So instead of having a look at cloud, we can check out the matrix section. Okay, we can click on start guide. Let's go close this. Okay, so it's not quite gonna be possible for me to look for the right thing in one go, especially on this particular website. So in that case, click on learn events. This blog, documentation, tutorials, workspaces, learning. Click on documentation. I'm gonna be reached again here. Or core stack, unlock the full potential of data with our platform, where you can query and visualize metrics, logs, traces, gain deeper understanding of your system's performance and behavior. We have observability docs that support your infrastructure and application observability needs. We have open telemetry cloud, this application observability database, knowledge graph. I think, how about application observability? Once I clicked on this, after that click on introduction. I mean, don't click on, I'm just simply exploring. It's as simple as that. Setup, added resources, okay, this is insane. Not really. I'm gonna be taking the help of, I need to take the help of AI actually right now to exactly get the right thing. Exactly, in simple words, where can I actually get that thing from? Just a minute. Okay, scroll. How, where to find the code for running Grafana using Prometheus. Docs. Well, okay, it did find that. Grafana Logi documentation. I do have the code. It's not like I don't have, but until unless I find it on the main documentation, it's not gonna be the best way, right? Even if I copy paste, even if I just cram that, but if I'm not able to find the same thing on the main documentation, that doesn't make any sense. Okay. Grafana Enterprise, is this the one? And after this sort proxy, they did this. What do we want to use here? Enterprise data sources. We want to use Prometheus, PagerDuty, New Relic, Netlify, MongoDB, Locker. Do we have, what all do we have here? Do we have Node.js? Netlify, Mono, we don't really have that. I don't know whether I'm doing the right thing or wrong thing by just simply going through the documentation until I find that. I think this is the right thing. If I'm not able to find it on the main documentation, then what is the use of simply even going through the things? But the thing is that how to find the right page, because there's a lot. Google Auth, GitHub, Grafana Cloud. Let me click on this. Oh, I will be shown a video, right? Well, not really. You can cloud, Grafana Cloud documentation, start guide, what's new, get started with the Grafana Cloud introduction. Obtain an account. This is the first step. Create Grafana account connected to determine whether you want your data to be managed outside of Grafana Cloud or sent to and manage Grafana Cloud. Connect externally. Connect your externally manage the data to Grafana Cloud with the data source. Create a dashboard and visualize this. Click on this. Connect or send data to Grafana Cloud. After you create your Grafana Cloud account, you determine whether you want to send a wow, this is interesting. Cloud provider observability, monitor AWS Azure, this database, front end, understand real users, web applications, performance, observability, the following cloud and the knowledge graph, humanities, application observability, traces requests, understand the performance of your service and dependencies. Let's simply click on this. Application observability, set up your application again. This, click on this. Set up application observability, recommend setup for for Grafana Cloud. Grafana recommends including this. Grafana Cloud setup guides, Grafana Cloud instrument or application, instrument guides. We are getting these much, right? These many things. This one, this one, this one. Let me check them one by one. Light mode. Reload it. Okay, so open telemetry guide, sign in, production, Python. Grafana Cloud provides set of two predefined guides to this. Open get started quickly. This is sign in to Grafana Cloud portal from your organization. Over select click launch to open Grafana Cloud with the stack selected. Click launch from Grafana to the launch. This left click home. What about this one? This is insane. Full stack observability, one view, infinite clarity. Create account. It is just simply asking me to create the account directly. The same option I had here. Put the credit card away. Okay, right? Click on this. Let's see what's gonna happen. Let me select use this email. Continue. Okay, finish setup. Alrighty, I'm inside this. What is the next thing? I have this. I can just simply launch this subscription. You have a 14 days unlimited usage upgrade now. Continue. What does this mean? Launch. Your instance is loading. I will be ready short. It will be ready short. Grafana is loading. I think I don't really have any other way except one thing. Like I'm gonna be running the image of Grafana directly. What I actually want to do, that I have to run the image of Grafana and I have to provide let me do one thing. Search it directly. Grafana image docker, run Grafana docker image. I could have done it earlier. Docker run this, name this Grafana enterprise. Docker volume, Docker run port 3000, name Grafana, volume this. Why didn't I do it earlier? I mean, literally, I just kept going through the documentation again and again. Grafana Docker image. This is the image of Grafana. I can just simply get it from here. Grafana/Grafana, and I can just simply run it. Oh my god, you got to be kidding me, man. Things are so simple here. I've been going through documentation for no reason. Like I could have searched for it directly. Run specified version of Grafana. Grafana enterprise is here. I don't know whether this is gonna be install Grafana. Okay, so this makes sense. Let me close everything. I'm gonna be just simply saying one thing because I have to run it. So Grafana image, I mean that should be enough. Docker I can have it. This will be fine. Just a minute, give me a second. Alrighty. So coming back to this one, run Grafana Docker image, I'm getting this. And when it comes to this, so I have two options. I have Grafana open source, that is Grafana equals to Grafana. Let me make it bigger. Don't I have any dark mode here? I'll have to make it dark mode forcefully. So let me do this. And this is fine right now. So what is happening? We have two options over here. First of all, Grafana enterprise. Grafana has Grafana Docker images come in two editions, Grafana and Grafana enterprise, and then open source this. Now the recommended and default edition Grafana is Grafana enterprise. It is free and includes all features of the OSS edition. Additionally, you have the option to upgrade to the full enterprise feature set, which support this Grafana enterprise via CLI. So what we can do, by default Grafana actually runs on port 3000, but the thing is that on port 3000 we are already running what? We are running our application. So our application is running on port 3000, so we will be listening it for on port 3001 for now, and name is gonna be Grafana enterprise we will be running. It's pretty simple, straightforward, and we will be adding it to the same network as well. So it should be fine, right? So what we are gonna be doing, first of all, we can do the same thing directly over here, but I want to do it manually. Manually in the sense, manually starting both. Manually starting this as well. We have already built the image. So if I show the image to you, Docker process status, sudo Docker images, the password of course. So this is the image that we built here, Node.js app image that we have built. So we will be running it manually. Similarly, we will be running Grafana manually. So let me run it manually first of all. So sudo Docker run port 3000 name Node.js app name should always be the same. And what is the next thing? Name is the same, Prometheus UI. I think Grafana gets it from the Prometheus UI itself, so I need to run both. One more thing, do I need to run Prometheus UI for Grafana dashboard? No, you don't need to use or run the Prometheus web UI for Grafana dashboard. The Prometheus UI is built-in basic visualization tool that is part of main Prometheus server process, but it is not required for Grafana to access. Here's what, Prometheus server must be running. Grafana needs to receive data from the Prometheus time series database. Therefore, the main Prometheus server process must be running to collect and store serve these metrics via its API endpoint, typically this 9090. So Grafana connects directly to the Prometheus API. I need to run Prometheus API. Grafana is a separate visualization platform that acts as a client. You configure Prometheus data source in Grafana by providing the Prometheus server's URL. Grafana then queries this API directly to fetch the metrics needed for its dashboard. Prometheus UI is separate from the API. The Prometheus web UI accessed at the URL. This is just a one interface to view the data. Its operational status independent from Grafana's ability and all. In essence, Prometheus handles the data collection and storage, while Grafana handles this. That means I do need to run Prometheus image. Yes, exactly. To use Prometheus data source for Grafana, the Prometheus server itself, the engine must be running even if you never open its web interface. So why Prometheus image must run? Data collection. Prometheus server is responsible for scraping, pulling metrics from your application and exporters. Storage. It stores those metrics in its own time series database. The bridge Grafana does see your raw application data. It only sees the what Prometheus server has already collected and also. It's like simple. What is simple? Prometheus server will be responsible for scraping the data from your server, from any app that you are running, and then that simply means we have to run Prometheus as well. And meanwhile, we have to start Grafana. Grafana will get the data from the Prometheus API. So I hope it does make sense. And as it comes to this, so I will be starting both. First of all, starting both in the sense sudo docker process status none is running, sudo docker compose up. What will it do? It will start what? It starts Prometheus, it starts Node.js. So ultimately both of them have started. Let me run it in the detached mode. And right now if I go to localhost 3000, not 3000, 9090. So I'm getting this here. I can just simply say http total request, execute it. I'm not getting any data. So let me send some data here. So 1 2 3 4 5. Come on, let me run it again. And I think I will start getting the data after. Okay, now I'm getting the data here. So yeah, it does work. What is the next thing? As whether you use this UI or not, it's completely up to you. You will always have the option. Now your Prometheus API is running, your Prometheus server is running. This Prometheus server will keep scraping the data from your server, main server, your Node.js app, in every 15 milliseconds. Okay, sorry, in every 15 seconds. So what you have to do, now you can run Grafana. Grafana will get the data from the Prometheus server. Grafana will not get the data from your app directly. Rather, it will get the data from the Prometheus server, whatever data it has. Grafana will be responsible of simply rendering that. So let's run Grafana now. And Grafana has two versions, if you mentioned here. Grafana itself, it has two versions. It has Grafana Enterprise and it has Grafana. I mean normal Grafana. So we will be using Enterprise because okay, that doesn't really matter. So what am I gonna say? Docker run. What is gonna be the port number? By default, it has mentioned that you use. It is saying in the detached mode, that is okay. It is saying use 3000 port number, but the thing is that our application is running on 3000 port. So I'm gonna be using 3001 for my local machine, and it will be running on 3000 port inside the container. What is the next thing? The next thing is that what should be the name? Its name should be Grafana, just like this. And I hope that is right. Apart from this particular thing, it does it need to be connected to the same network? And the fact is probably, because your Prometheus needs to get the data from your database, from your app, so it needs to be connected to the same network. Do I need to connect it to the same network? Let's see. If needed, we will connect it. Right now I'm not connecting it. Grafana Enterprise. So Grafana / Grafana Enterprise. Just like this. Let's run this command. What will happen? Grafana will start. Unable to find the image, it will get the image, it will start it. Once it starts, what will happen? I will be able to see the UI of Grafana. And I was supposed to be giving it the where this. Okay, fine. Docker ps container id, this is running. Docker stop. We can even stop the Grafana and save your Grafana config. docker volume create, we can save the this docker volume inspect Grafana storage, and okay, this much we have done. We can even use this. Apart from this particular thing, mkdir volume gf log level, okay, we can provide this. Apart from this gf girlfriend, no, gf stand for something else over here. Plugins pre-install, and then gf plugins pre-install, okay, docker compose version cd touch. This way we can even create the ml file. Grafana image is this, container name is this, restart is this, port is this, and this is how you can just simply go ahead and we can even specify the volume. This is such an amazing feature. I don't know how they've implemented this, but it works. Ask Grafana AI assistant, amazing. And server root plugin. Alright, this is great. What is the next thing that I have to do? First of all, let's see whether I have the image. It is running if I'm not wrong. So if I stop it, sudo docker process status, it has stopped. That simply means Grafana is not running yet. So let me get it that. Let me remove that first of all. So sudo docker remove. I will be removing this Grafana thing. So Prometheus I have here. I have two Prometheus. I don't even have Grafana. That's interesting. In that case, I will be running Grafana in the detached mode. So let me have -d over here as well. -d. It's error conflict 2. I'm running Grafana. The name is Grafana. So docker sudo docker process status for all. I should definitely have Grafana here. And Prometheus Node.js app. I think this is the Grafana section. 3001 port. I don't really have any, but never mind. Docker sudo docker remove. I'm gonna be removing this, and I'm gonna be removing this. Container is still running. Yeah, that's right. So what is the problem? Docker run d3000 Grafana. Error level conflict. The container name Grafana is already in use by container this. You have to remove or rename that container to be able to reuse that. Sudo docker compose down. It will stop, then I will restart it again, and at that time I will create that. Docker docker compose up. So it will just simply restart both of them in the detached mode. And apart from this particular thing, I will be running this sudo docker compose down. I have to give it different name. It's better to remove those previous containers that are running. It takes some time. Okay, got it, done. Ls sudo docker process status for all. It has already been removed. Amazing job, as it has been removed. About this, the container Grafana is already in use by a container. Sudo docker process status. So what is the next thing that I can do? Exit this. Let's sudo docker process status no here sudo docker ps for all. So only one is running, that is MongoDB. Sudo docker images, these are the ones. Sudo docker rmi Grafana latest course. Grafana latest. Done. History. What is the history over here? Mainly for the Grafana one, I'm gonna be using this again. Control Shift C. But before even that, docker sudo docker compose up. It will restart them in the detached mode. Control Shift V. I have to run it again, but in the detached mode. In the detached mode, anything else? Nothing. It is just simply saying that it does exist already. So let me make it Grafana 1. Okay, done. And once it is already running in the detached mode, then what can I do? The next thing is that go to Grafana, so localhost 3001. Hopefully Grafana will be able to scrape localhost. And not, it doesn't even need to scrape, it has to get everything from Prometheus 3001. Login. Admin. Okay, logged in. New password. Admin. Then here I am. What is the next thing? Page not found. Great. Great. I mean, add new connections if I'm not wrong. I have to search Prometheus here. I didn't add Grafana to the network. Why? But I think that it needs to get the data from the Prometheus, and it can easily get that without even being in the same network. But let's see. Add new data source. Prometheus server URL. This should be this particular one. And no authentication is needed for now. Okay. And overall things are fine. Let's simply save and test if I'm not wrong. Later we will add the authentication as well. But for now, let me save and test. HTTP look up Prometheus. This no such host there was an error during Prometheus API. Okay. Problem. Why is the problem? They are not in the same database. That is right. That simply means, sorry, not database, the same network. If they are not in the same network, how can I find it using Prometheus? Amazing job. Anyhow, I will have to connect it to the same network. Okay, great. So, sudo docker. I can connect to it, right? I can connect the network. Sudo docker process status like this. So I'm getting this on 3. Where is Grafana running? That is running in the detached mode, but for some reason I'm not able to see Grafana over here. If I'm not able to see Grafana over here, how will I edit? Sudo docker network help. Let me correct the spelling. So I can connect. Okay. connect help. For connecting, that's exactly the same. Options, network container. Where do I have to connect? What do I have to connect? Network, connect monitor, network, and Grafana 1. Response, there was no such container, Grafana 1. That's the name of that. Grafana. Sudo docker logs Grafana 1. No such daemon. Okay. History. If I click on this again, and 3001 detached mode Grafana like this, and add the network here as well, because network is needed. Name is the Grafana, that's fine. Network, and what is the network? The network is actually monitor network. It is saying that you will have to change the name. Where to the network monitor not found. Monitor network not found. What is the network now? Yeah, the thing is that they are using all together. They are not. They are. I have specified this monitor network over here, but at the end of the day, they are using something else. Something else in the sense docker sudo docker process status, not process status. Network ls. They are using this. This is error response daemon failed to set up container network Prometheus not found. So ultimately, even if whatever network they are creating, that is not found directly. Interesting. So I will have only one way at the end, that is running it using the docker compose. Otherwise I'm running them separately. I'm running my container separately. I will do it later. I'm running my containers app separately, Prometheus separately, and Grafana separately, connecting to them to the same network, so that will work. Right now, whenever I run them using Docker Compose, so altogether different networks are created, and they connect the same, like the files in the, they connect the processes in the Docker Compose file only. Bridge. Even if I try to use this, it doesn't work. Right? Yeah, it doesn't work. So okay, let me do one thing. The simpler way can be this: ls sudo docker compose down. First of all of them are gonna be down. And what am I gonna do here? Okay, pretty simple stuff. I wanna run Grafana. Okay, image. What is the image? Grafana slash Grafana. Enterprise, you can just simply as enterprise, completely up to you. And what is gonna be the port number? Ports. I wanna get the result on port 3001 on my local machine, and by the way, it will be running on port 3000 inside the container. And volumes, no need to add them. Networks, of course, I will be adding them. Network is gonna be monitor network. That's it. And at least for right now, it should be enough. Later, I can even add the environment variable, and that will be containing the password. But okay, this much is fine. And what will I do now? Sudo docker compose up. This is that simple actually. Getting it done like this. So let's wait for a while until it gets done. First of all, it will just simply get the image. The image is quite big. Hopefully it won't take a lot of time. Grafana Enterprise. Okay. It has some around 227 MB size. It's getting pulled, and once it is pulled, even there was pulling stuff, right? Sorry, pushing, like how we can push the. Meanwhile, let me check this. I'm gonna be back here. Docker Compose, right? How can we push the image? How can we push the image? Docker Compose. Docker Compose projects from video bind mounts. Steps for Docker Compose. Create Docker file, Docker ignore, add configurations inside the Docker file, add the files and folders inside the Docker ignore, create a Docker Compose ML and add a code in that. Wow. Where do I have Docker push? Here we have this at the top right. So we have something called Docker push. This is mainly used for pushing the image, and we'll see how it works. Like the image will be pushed to the main file. I'll have to authenticate myself. This was it is saying that 3001 is already in use. For what? Why? Sudo docker process status. Sudo docker remove sudo docker process status for all. This is the one that I have. What is the next thing that I can do? Don't know, but for some reason I'm not getting. I'll have to stop the Docker containers running on port 3001. Anyhow, one is running on port 3000. Both of them are running maybe. First of all, let me check this. Go to dashboard. Okay, here we are. At least able to see it here. Click on this. Delete them forever. At least I'm even getting the images right now. No volumes as such. And now it should be working. So the command that I had earlier, Docker Compose up. And alrighty, so Grafana is running, getting the setup ready. Don't worry, it is fine. Don't get confused looking at the things. It was just simply the configuration related stuff, and soon it's gonna be done. And right now it seems to be done with the configuration, with the like loading the stuff and all. Let me click on detached mode right now. Sudo docker process status. So this is running, even Docker is container is also running. That's great. What is the next thing? All the three ones are running right now. The next thing is that checking it out. So let's go to localhost 3001. Well, that's bad. How am I gonna be writing it right? Localhost 3001. Again, it's gonna be pretty simple. I'm gonna be just simply creating the admin password like this. It doesn't really matter, but you keep it here. Okay, here we are. What is the next thing? The next thing is that click on this, click on add new connection. Of course I have to search Prometheus. Right now I'm gonna be able to connect to them because all of Grafana is using same network, and because of this thing I should be able to connect to Prometheus 9090. Why Prometheus? Why not localhost? Prometheus because I have to get the data from the Prometheus, and I need to know the IP if I want to connect, because my Grafana, Prometheus, and my app, all of them are connected to the same network now, and all of them are containers. If I want to talk to the another container, I need to know the IP of that particular container, and the name of that container, this Prometheus thing, actually references to the IP address. That simply means this is nothing but the DNS name. Okay, I even showed you earlier when we inspected the container that we had the DNS name inside that. I can show it again, but if you want. But let's click on save and exit. Successfully queried Prometheus API. That's great, and that's it, done. What is the next thing? So save and test, done. And once it is done, let me go to data sources. Here I have this data source, and if you click on build dashboard, dashboard is gonna be built. So let me click on build a dashboard. I'm gonna be adding a new dashboard over here. This is the Prometheus data source that I added, and now what I can do from here, I have many options. Time series, bar chart, change it. I have time series, bar chart, stats, gauge, you must know that, bar gauge, table, pie chart. These are the formats that I can just simply see my data in. So ultimately, yeah, it does provide many options. What I want to see the number of requests. So for saying that, let me select a time series. I'm gonna be going with this time series manner, and from here you can select what? You can select HTTP request total. Once I selected HTTP request total, so from here I can select the label. I'm not gonna select any label right now. I'm not gonna select any value right now, and it is just simply giving me this hint as well. You can add a rate too, but I'm not gonna be adding anything. This is gonna be pretty simple. And once I've done this, so nothing else. If I run the query, I will be getting this kind of result. Great. And let me make more requests to home route, and as I made more requests to the home route, slowly I will be getting that data here as well. Coming back to this, run the query again, refresh it. Yeah, slowly I'm getting the data, and I think this data comes from home. Okay, so this is the data that I'm getting, and this is the data from the matrix. Let me refresh it, run the query. I should be getting more data. Maybe it will take some time, maybe around 15 seconds, because usually Prometheus takes Prometheus scrapes the data in 15 seconds, and then Grafana will get the data from the Prometheus side itself. So HTTP total request, run the query again, refresh it, 15 minutes. Now I'm getting it here. So just here I got around 10 requests from over /layout. So if I run the query, I'm getting it like this. I have two types of routes. From the two routes I got the request over here, and if I click on add, the request is gonna be added. By the way, let me send more requests. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 blah 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 blah. Few requests to the /health check. And this is not done yet. Even tomorrow, what we have to do, we have to deploy everything. We are doing everything locally right now, so we have to deploy it, and once deployed, we will have to configure few things, but it's gonna be easy, don't worry. So we will be focusing on that. Users, let me send some more requests here as well, and once done, coming back to this particular section, let's click on run queries and manually refresh it, and right now you will see more data. So you are seeing some data where this is the /matrix, another one is on /health check. Again, it's gonna be increasing slowly, and then you are getting some data on the home route. So this is how the things are actually happening, and slowly the data will keep changing and out. So this is how the stuff happen. So if you just simply run the query right now, don't select any one of them. Let me select all of them at once. So this is how you are just simply getting the data. And first is about /user, second is about health check, third is about home route, and the last one is for matrix route. So ultimately this is how you are getting the info. Not only that, you can even combine it as we just discussed earlier. Even here you can write the what just a sec. Prometheus, that is fine. Okay, here it is, sorry I forgot that. So there is something called, there are two things. First one is builder. From here you can just select everything by clicking, like the GUI part, and second one is the code part. In the code part you have to just simply write your queries, prompt QL queries. They only run over, they work here too. Ultimately it is actually based on that. So you can run your QL queries, you can run it, and you will be just simply getting the result. What is the next thing? The next thing is that you can actually click on the builder, and in the builder what happens, you can select anything from here. So you want your HTTP request milliseconds bucket, you want your active request, so even you can get active requests. I hope I have here, I have the active request section. If I run the queries, so I don't have any active requests right now, so I'm not getting them right now. So if you click on total, you will be getting the total thing, and it is even giving you hint. So like you don't have to write the code. Once you click this this, you will be able to see the code over here. So this is how the code looks like. And now it is just simply asking you to add the rate. So it added the rate automatically, and right now this is how your query looks like. You can even add some rates on your own side. Rate in the sense what should be the interval of the window. And there are different types of rates over here. If you just hover over this, so we have rate interval. It is automatically added, so it is automatically added from the Grafana side. So you better just simply select one, or there are some constant as well. You can select 1 minute, 5 minutes, 24 hours, something like this. I'm gonna be selecting this, and if you actually have a look at the query, so click on the code. Code looks like this. Rate code actually looks like this. Rate, HTTP request, total, and all. And this is the rate. You can add 5 minutes here, that's 4 minutes, 5 minutes, that's completely up to you. But the one that is written here, that's actually given by Grafana. Grafana changes the rate as per your window size. So it keeps changing the rate interval automatically, so you don't need to worry about it. This is how you can just simply set it as well. So this much we've done. The next thing is that this doesn't get over here. Let me click on builder again. You can just write the queries, any query, depends on you. And the thing is that you can also click on the builder, and after from here you can even select the label. What should be the label? Label should be route. What should be the value? Value should be maybe /users, and this way it automatically gets added over here. So if you actually click on the code looks like this right now. Rate, HTTP request, this is how a particular route is selected, this is how intervals are selected, and this is how the things work. So I hope it does make sense. Not only one, you can add more queries, you can add more expressions, and you can just simply get the job done. Let's click on builder part. What I want total number of requests. So what can I do? If I want total number of requests, so let me remove this route from here, just like this, and remove this interval as well. Total number of requests, right? First of all, even I want this. What I want, I should be able to see that when I'm getting how many requests in which one. So let's say I run the queries, and after that I can click on save dashboard. Before that, HTTP total number of HTTP total requests per route we are getting, right? So let's simply save dashboard. Once saved dashboard, let me make it smaller. I can save it here. Once saved it here, this got added. Now once this got added, I can just simply click on save dashboard, and let's save it from here. I can back to the dashboard, and this is the dashboard that I have. That's it. You can just customize it and all. So you should be able to get the idea. There's a huge difference between Prometheus UI and the Grafana UI that we get. Grafana UI gives you more features. You can just simply customize it the way you want, and not only that, you can create more and more things. Writing query is easy, even learning that is easy, right? Right now I created one graph, right? What it does, it simply returns me total request per route. So these are the requests that I get. Like over here I got around 27, 28, 29. I kept getting, and similarly it kept increasing as well. So routes per, number of requests per route. What is the next thing? I can click on this. Click on visualization, and even we will be exploring it more tomorrow. Overall, I just wanted to give you the idea how these things work. Tomorrow we will be deploying it online, and once we deploy it online, we will create many charts. That's not really a big problem. Let me create one more and then call it here. Okay, so what should be that graph be? So I want to create a graph so that gives me the number of requests that I get per second. So HTTP total request, and I want to add a rate right now, rate interval. So I don't want to select any label. If I run the query, I get the number of requests, but here I'm getting it separately. What I want them to be sum. So in that case, let me click on operation aggregation and click on sum. So what happens if you look at the code, sum automatically got added here, rate automatically got added here, so you don't really need to worry about anything. Let's run the query, and this time I'm getting the sum of all the requests. So at this particular time I got these many requests and all, and this is per second. So let me just simply save before even that. Total number of requests per second, just like this. Let me save it. Let me save this as well. Back to the dashboard, and that is it. Save the dashboard. So now you actually have two graphs. You can create it, customize it the way you want. Even we will be talking about quite a lot of things tomorrow, but overall it should be clear. It returns me total number of requests per second. So I got this many requests, and then slowly it kept decreasing, and by default we have 0.067 around. That simply means if you multiply 0.06 multiplied by 15, so it will be around 1 request in 15 seconds. So yeah, it does make sense. So this is how you can create it, and this is just the beginning, because even over here you can create the alert as well. So if you go to more, here there's an option for new alert. If you click on this, you have alerting option, and save the dashboard, and you have a dashboard, you have bookmarks. Overall these are the things. There are more options, but mostly you can create dashboards, you can alert the people when there is a need, and what else do you want? Ultimately these are the things, right? So overall we've done it. We even know the flow. We are let me sudo docker compose down, so they are gonna be stopped right now. We created proper ML file for running Node.js, for running Prometheus, for running Grafana. We are even adding all of them are connected to the same network, so that they are able to talk to each other. They can only talk to each other when they are connected to the same network. This name of them is gonna be DNS, that will be referencing to the IP address. And what else do you want? Okay, so this is how we are gonna be going ahead with the things. Quite a lot that we've covered. I never expected that this would be done, but great. What's the goal for tomorrow? Pretty simple. We will be deploying it all, deploying all the things, and we will deploy our Prometheus on an EC2 machine. Node.js will be on another EC2 machine, and probably Grafana, it doesn't need to be on another EC2 machine. It's just simply the UI part. So yeah, Grafana and Prometheus, they may be on the same one. If needed, we can even do the same thing. Grafana, we can even have the volume so that it stores the data and all. So yeah, this is how the things are gonna be working. For now, that was it. Now I'm gonna be catching up tomorrow. Until then, take care, bye bye, and see you. Good night.